This is where the fun begins.
Hello there. How's it going?
Hey everyone, Hybrid Toy Reviews here, and today we're taking a look at the Star Wars The Black Series Jedi Survivor 3-pack of battle droids, including a MagnaGuard, a Super Battle Droid, and a B1 Battle Droid. This is an Amazon exclusive 3-pack here in the US, retailing for $70, which is a little bit of a discount, which is nice, because normally 3 figures would cost $25 each, $75, knock a couple dollars off, which is nice because of the amount of reuse this has. However, there are some very exciting new pieces in this as well, and just overall it is a really cool looking pack. We did start to get a little bit of a taste for these types of battle droids in the Gaming Greats B1, which was a GameStop exclusive. Did see some pretty historic clearance prices, I will say. It was like the cheapest battle droid ever at the end there. But there's just a lot of cool stuff going on in here, and I'm super excited to get into it. So without further ado, let's get into the review. The new packaging style has really hit the line by storm. There doesn't seem to be too many stragglers of the old box style coming out, which is neat that they've actually managed to really time this very well. But this is the new packaging style extended for a 3-pack. So you have a ginormous window showing the 3 types of battle droids off very nicely with the familiar Gaming Great sticker there. That's actually the 3rd packaging that this sticker hasn't changed. That's cool. I do like the logo though. You have your big stripe across the top with your embossed Black Series logo right in the center, looking really nice. You have your names MagnaGuard, Super Battle Droid, and Battle Droid over there on the right. Star Wars Jedi Survivor in the familiar dark blue Gaming Greats coloring. Got a warning, a 4+ Hasbro symbol. This side of the box features some cool artwork of all 3 types of battle droids. This side features your Gaming Greats logo, your wraparound window, and your Black Series logo on the side. Up top features nothing, no hanger tabs, no windows. Below features a barcode and some legal stuff. And if you're looking for legal stuff, flip around to the back where the bottom 1.5 inches of the box is all legal stuff. You have some zoom-ins of those varying arts from the side of the box for each character, and then a bio about the about the games and about the droids in the game. Sorry, and a Black Series logo. So very familiar things going on here. Everything that you would expect on a Black Series box. So with that said, let's go. So here's all 3 battle droids out of the packaging. Let's go ahead and start by taking a look at the accessories. So we'll start going left to right. We have the MagnaGuard staff. Now the original MagnaGuard figure we'd gotten had 2 variants of staff. There's only one of the variants included here. The other one is this from the original release. And this one has the clear tubes on each end there, and it just looks really good. I believe this is the more Revenge of the Sith accurate one. However, it also comes with these 2 purple electricity effects that are actually very, very firm rubber. The last one was very soft. I kind of think I prefer this. And these kind of clipped on nicer to the other style of arm, and they don't clip onto this one very well. So I'm not really sure why they elected to choose this one. This one might have been the more game accurate choice, but there are electrical effects which don't work super well, but he looks good just holding the staff without the effects. The B2 battle droid comes with the wrist blast effect, which is a really nice accessory, and one that we have seen before with the single pack. It just pegs on to his wrist blaster, like so, and it simulates him blasting, which is good. You got to watch those wrist rockets. More on that soon, though. And then finally, we do get one new accessory in the pack, being this bladed weapon for the B1 battle droid. And what's cool about this is that in-game, it just appears to be some sort of blaster, which has just been repaired and had kind of a very jagged, rough metal blade put on, and the sculpt work is just super nice. So it's kind of cool. This is the first time that we've gotten a B1 with any sort of a melee weapon. They've always just come with their blasters. And the hands are sculpted very well to fit the blasters, but it does seem to hold this fairly well. If loose, at least it's not going anywhere, and if you get a second hand on it, of course that will stabilize it up. So this is actually a really cool accessory, and one that I'm just happy to see. I'm going to go ahead and start on the easiest figure, which is the B1 battle droid. This guy looks oh so nice. And this is actually a second variant of a Jedi Survivor battle droid, as mentioned, because we do have this Gaming Grace one here. As you see, there's a lot of similar design aesthetics, similar colors of tan, and then there's a bunch of like dark red going on. This one has a lot of silver, whereas this one has a lot of dark gray, but they do look very complementary to one another, and I do like what we're seeing here. It's the exact same sculpt all the B1 battle droids in the line are, so there's not an insane amount of things to go on with this. There's no swappable backpack. It does remove, but it doesn't feature the antenna option. It just has the antennas that are built into the backpack like so. He is cast in a lot of tan and then a lot of this like silver plastic color. That's not paint. That's actually like the plastic. It actually catches the light and looks really nice. A lot of that going on in the backpack and on the head. And yeah, it's just a tan B1 battle droid. This is ultimately a heavy reuse battle pack, and we're not expecting anything too insane here, but it just looks good. You can curl them up into the closed mode if you want. Ultimately, I've reviewed this guy like several times. I'm going to finally be one of these YouTubers and say, you kind of know what you're getting here, so we're not going to really bother going through a full-blown articulation segment on him. So setting him aside and bringing in the Super Battle Droid. Now, the Super Battle Droid is a new figure to the line for 2024, and one that has been sorely missing. However, this one has a little bit of an update, even to what we've already seen. So to bring in the fan channel standard release one here, as we don't have, there are technically 2 decos for Super Battle Droids in the game, and the deco features a limb swap, which has happened here. I figured we would have gotten the other one, but they have done the limb swap here. So he features the rocket launcher arm, and this is oh so cool. This is a variant of battle droid I've wanted forever. Not necessarily the Jedi Survivor version, but just the Super Battle Droid with a rocket arm. I mean, it is my favorite, like, 08 Clone Wars design, even if this one is a touch loose at the elbow, but it's okay. We'll have just a little bit of bend in there, and it'll be all right. But this is the Super Battle Droid that does the heavy purple blast, and it was really common in the early 08 Clone Wars series, and then they kind of dropped it by like the second season. Might have appeared in the third here and there, but I definitely remember near the end of it never seeing this anymore. But it was just a really, really cool variant, and something that's slightly annoying is their colors of gray are like, this is more of a silver and this is more of a gray, because these shoulders are on ball joints. They just pop out. So I know that this arm will fit on this, but it just won't be the right color. So, but Hasbro has made it very easy for themselves to make what we need next on this sculpt. Come on, Hasbro, you know what's up. But this guy is cast completely in that kind of silvery plastic, like I talked about on the legs of the B1. It's the same shade. And then he has a lot of the tan and red decos with a little bit of black around the head, and then like on the sides of the torso. And he looks really good. I like it. He is accurate to his in-game design. I'll show it off again, but it does feature the removable panels with a lot of painted on lights underneath, which is a Republic Commando reference. I don't believe they fall apart in Jedi Survivor. It has been a long time since I've watched any playthroughs of that. Still haven't played it. I just haven't bought a next-gen console yet, but I wanted to know the story, so I watched a commentary-free playthrough like the day of launch, so I was able to get the whole story in, thankfully. But this is just a really, really cool design, and I do really like it. This one, I've only talked about it once before, so let's run through the articulation. Nothing on the head. You wouldn't expect it to be there. Ball joints on the shoulder, which allow you to do 360. There's a lot of pivot going on. Not a butterfly joint, it's just the range on the ball. Single jointed elbows can go on the heavy rocket arm, not quite to 90. On the normal arm, 290. Swivels at the bicep, both above and below, like at the end of the forearm. No wrist articulation on the blast arm, if you can believe it, but there is a hinge that goes up and down on the arm with a hand, and then it does rotate, but it kind of breaks up the look of it a little bit. So there's a mid-torso ball joint, allows you to crunch them that far forward, which basically is nothing, and that far back, which is nice. You get some side-to-side, a little bit of pivot going on in there. The legs can go that far out, which is nicer than you would expect for the sculpt. You can kick basically straight up. The battle droid butt doesn't get in the way. He can go basically straight back. There's an upper thigh rotation hidden in the sculpt there, and then single jointed knees can go past 90. They kind of notch in. There is a swivel at the top of the knee, and then the feet can go really far down, really far forward, and there's a forward-facing pin for rocker, allowing you to get them in some decently wide stances, both feet flat on the ground. And it's one of those figures where it's weird. He's spindly. He's got a big chest and skinny legs, but the feet are big, and they stand oh so well. I'm incredibly pleased with this sculpt. So this is definitely a great addition to the line, and I see a great future for it. Now, we're on to the MagnaGuard. Now, I'm going to be honest, the MagnaGuard, as it was released in the Clone Wars packaging in late 2023, was a bit of a disappointment, and this figure isn't really much better, so I'm just going to go ahead and bring in that one. And, you know, the sculpt is here. I mean, the sculpt looks nice, but it is underscaled, and it is incredibly finicky. This is one of those figures that you can definitely find a good pose for it, but once you do, you kind of just want to stick it on the shelf and never mess with it again. This is honestly my first go messing with this figure since last year. He's actually been in storage while I work on my toppled Battle Droid shelf. Someday it'll happen, I promise. But yeah, this guy is just underscaled. He is not tall enough, and he is very awkward. As far as the paint, he has a lot of changes to the deco, but the old one had a lot of weathering and muck and mud all over him, whereas this one is very clean, very plain. He has a different soft goods. Instead of it being a true cloak, it kind of wraps around the chest, and there's like a hood, and there's a couple of strings that hang down in the back, one of which actually has a little bit of printing on it, which is nice. You can see the sculpt. It's a very nice sculpt. I mean, it looks like a MagnaGuard. It's not white. It's kind of like that kind of like bone, not bone, I guess bone's more of a cream. It's kind of like that light gray that's almost white for his base. And then he's got the maroon red striping going on. It still has the issues where the shoulder pads come off like no one's business. And yeah, there we go. They're just very lightly pegged on there. On my old one, I'm going to be honest, because they want them to be able to move to get out of the way. I hinged them down to the bottom there, and I super glued mine on my old ones so that I don't have to deal with it anymore. It hinders the arm up a little bit to about there, but it totally beats these things just shooting off, and that one actually flexed a little instead of shooting off, so yeah, there we go. But it's just not Hasbro's best work, I gotta be honest. The sculpt work is there, some of these ideas just were not executed the best. But you know, it's a decent figure. Mine has a little QC thing where there's an armor piece that is like glued onto the torso under here. And as you can see, it is very crooked off to the left. And I think mine was just glued on wrong, but it's under the fabric. So I'm just not going to sweat it. This guy is just going to go on my Gaming Grace shelf to the back. And it's just going to be what it is, unfortunately. So running through some articulation, because let's be fair, there's just not a lot of paint going on. I've only talked about him once before. He has the double ball neck, which allows him to look that far back, which is a ton. He can go really far forward, and then there's some side to side, a lot of pivot. His arms can come up to about here before he starts shooting off shoulder pads. So, yeah, that's annoying. I'm going to fix it again. There's a ball joint that goes in, so you can get like basically the function of a butterfly joint, 360 at the shoulders. Single jointed elbows can go to 90 degrees and then swivel at the bicep there. There is where the forearm gets skinny and goes in there. There's a swivel in there, and the hands are on a hinge that goes in and out, and it's kind of like an ankle articulation where you can spin and then make it go up and down if you care to. So you can get anything you want on the hands. By nature of it being a very spindly droid, that's just what it is. And I believe I said it in the review then, but the design in the movie, you know, because these are all based from Revenge of the Sith. We see them in Clone Wars, but they're originated from Revenge of the Sith. You know, was CG, and it just doesn't translate to real life very well. And because action figures are a thing in real life, it doesn't translate to action figures really well. So it's just what it is. There's a ball joint at the hip, allowing him to kick straight up, all the way straight back, and then you get a little bit of pivot in there. I may have totally blanked. There is a mid-torso ball joint that allows you to crunch that far forward, that far back, and there's swivel and pivot there. So my mistake there if I skipped that. Otherwise, you just got it again. Single jointed knees go to 90, and there's no swivel. It's kind of just a straight hinge, and then the feet can go that far down, that far up, and there's a forward-facing pin for rocker, but he's got a lot of heel going on, like he's in high heels or something, so it's not a preference for me personally, but you know what? He's okay. He's definitely not the highlight of the pack, so let's bring in a couple of figures just for some size comparison purposes. So first let me bring in just the entirety of the set and stand them up. Here is Cal Kestis in his Jedi Survivor appearance. And here is the new body Stormtrooper, just to give you an idea of height, because he clocks in at 6 inches and is like your average man's height. As you see, the battle droid is a little taller, the B2 is a little bit taller, the MagnaGuard way too short. It should at least be as tall as the other droids, in my opinion. But ultimately, again, other than what we knew we were getting, which is a Short King MagnaGuard, I ultimately like what we're getting here. I think it looks okay on the shelf. So at the end of the day, what do I think of the Gaming Greats Jedi Survivor Battle Droid 3-pack? It's okay. I see a lot of potential here, and maybe I would have more attachment if I have played the game personally. I know the story, and they're cool, and I like them. I like the idea of repurposed battle droids post-Clone Wars, and I'm honestly shocked we don't see them more often for as many battle droids as there were. You would think, the Rebels would have used them, even at least the extreme ones, like Saw Gerrera, might have tracked down some reprogrammable battle droids, but, you just don't see it very often. And, of course, maybe it's a symbol, or these are just the most terrifying thing in the galaxy for a bit. Maybe that's the lore. But, I really like the rocket launcher arm B2. I wish the rocket launcher arm B2 was in Clone Wars colors, not this. The MagnaGuard is a bit of a frustrating figure. And the B1, I like all B1s. I'm okay with him. But he's just a random B1. And it's I'm happy that I have it, and I think that it's worth picking up. However, if you say you're waiting for a Black Friday special or a Prime Day special, I don't blame you. I don't. It's not a bad pickup. It's just for $70, I don't know. It's a really expensive Black Series item for me to feel the way I am right now, which is meh. So that's kind of where I'm at. I don't say don't get it, and I'm ultimately not happy that I got it, I'm not unhappy that I got it, but I wish I had maybe waited a little bit. But anyway, got to make the reviews, and I'm super happy to have had the opportunity to inform you on this pack and everything about it. So that's it for now. Thanks a bunch for watching. It means a lot that you did. If you enjoyed, you should leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that end of video stuff. You know the drill. I'm going to go work on something else now. So until next time, may the Force be with each and every one of you. And goodbye.